What's up everybody, Greg here with Lensprotogo and Lens Rentals, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be checking out an older style LED light from Arri, the L5-C. Now this one came out a few years ago, but there's still some reasons and times that you'd want to use an older style LED like this one. So in this video, I'm going to be going over some of the pros and cons of this light specifically, as well as some different features and things about it. So let's go check it out. Starting off with the build and design of this light, it definitely resembles Arri's older style of tungsten Fresnels, having a similar body design and style, as well as having that same kind of hard metal housing. Having that metal housing keeps its weight in a modest range, just over 11 pounds, which for a light this size isn't super heavy, but it's also not very light either. It has a nice heavy duty yoke as well, which allows you to put it onto a baby pin or into a junior pin stand, and you can also hang it upside down. It also has adjustments on the light itself to slide that yoke either forward or back depending on what accessories you have on the light to keep it a little more balanced. On the front of the light, you have an accessory slot where you can drop in different things like snoots, barn doors, or soft boxes to add a little more flexibility and control to this light. That also has a double locking system, so you actually have two safeties on this, so if you're rigging it up overhead above a talent, you're going to be safe that none of your accessories are going to fall off this light. On both sides of the light, you get a nice big control knob for focusing the light, going from your flood to your spot, from 14 degrees at the wide end all the way down to 50 degrees for your focused tight spot angle. On the back of the light, you have a couple options for powering the light. One of them is AC power using the Nutric True One connector, which is a super nice connection that's going to keep it locked in. You don't have to worry about it pulling out of the light, and that can just plug into any wall outlet. You also have a battery option to power this if you want to do it remotely, or you have it in somewhere where you can't run power through the scene. Next to that, you also have DMX in and out if you want to hook this up into a DMX array where you can control it from a lighting board or some other wireless system. And underneath the DMX ports, you have a USB in, which is going to allow you to update firmware on this light. So if Arri releases something new in the future that updates this light to be more functionalities and things like that, you can do it right through there. And then lastly, on the outside of this light, over on the right side, you have a small little control panel where you have a couple different knobs to control your intensity, your color temperature, hue, saturation, and your green and magenta shift, as well as an LCD display showing you what you're actually adjusting and what your settings are currently. And there's also two different preset buttons on here, which allows you to set presets for a specific lighting setup, so you can jump quickly back and forth between multiple things. Now diving into some of the properties of the actual LED light, it has a color temperature range from 2800 Kelvin all the way to 10,000 Kelvin, so you get a really nice range, especially on the blue end. It's definitely higher than a lot of the other ones out there. And then you get basically whatever color you want on your RGB spectrum using your hue and saturation in degrees. The output of the L5-C kind of falls somewhere between an Arri 300 watt tungsten and a 650 watt tungsten. It's kind of right in the middle there, around 450. I'll throw some of the photometrics of this light on the screen right now, so you can check that out and kind of see what it is in all the different range from tungsten to daylight and at different distances. Now, some of the reasons why you might want to use a light like this over a panel or tube, which is what I've been doing a lot of videos on lately, is that you get a lot more control with the light. Unlike those panels and tubes that have a soft source right out of the gate, this has a harder beam, which allows you to shape the light. You can control it a little more. You can focus it in and spot it on exactly what you want to focus it on. And you can also use it to create shadow if you want to have those harder edge shadows either on background objects or on your subject, if you're trying to do like a film noir kind of thing. And then if you want to soften up those shadows to be more like a panel or a tube, all you have to do is throw on a soft box or throw a silk in front of it, and that's going to get you those really nice, smooth, soft shadows. Now, since this is an older light, there's definitely some things you should know about it before you get one on set, just so you know what you're getting yourself into with some of the functions and controls. The first thing is the location of the control panel on the side. Now, where they put it goes right on the other side of the yoke, so it can actually be a little bit hard to get to the knobs without having to go like around the yoke, and it's just a little bit frustrating to go back and forth between things quickly if you're trying to fine tune them. Going along with that a little more and talking about the menus themselves, they're not that great. It's pretty easy to go through your white balance color temperature, so 2800 to 10,000 Kelvin, as well as all of your colors, so selecting specific colors using your hue and saturation. But if you're trying to get in to do anything like DMX control or put it into demo mode where it can cycle through all the lights, kind of like a party gel, it's a little bit harder to do that, and it's not very easy to navigate through. Where you go into the color mode where you're really playing around with saturated colors, you lose a lot of light on the warmer end. So your yellows, oranges, and reds, you get a lot less output than you do at the other end with your greens and blues. So just keep that in mind. If you need a lot of red light, this might not be the one to go for. And then lastly, it is only an IP20 rating, which means you can't get this thing wet. You have to be really careful around dust and things like that, being able to get inside the unit. So just have a good idea of where you're gonna be using this light before you get it out on set. You can't be using it in any sort of inclement weather. If you're interested in this light and you want to try it out or learn a little bit more, I'm going to throw some links in the description down below, so definitely go and check those out. If you have any questions about this light, make sure to let me know in the comments, and also check out all the other videos we've done on different lights if you're still trying to make a decision on which one's going to be right for you. If you enjoyed this video and it helped you out, make sure to let me know by hitting that like button, subscribe for new videos every single week, and I'll see you in the next one.